When I think of the word smart, I think of clothes initially, then I think of success, I think of beginnings, I think of endings, I think of outside of the box, I think of success, I think of being happy. My career path started at a very early age of 16 and a half. I'd had a tragedy in my family and decided that I had always been passionate about interiors because of my grandmother's home in South Africa. And I literally just met someone who offered me a job, and I was incredibly confident, and I started my business. And so by the time I was 18, I had a studio in Lots Road, and I had a business. And I mean, it sounds crazy, but it was the smartest thing I ever did. I've made so many smart moves, I guess, in my business, but I think I was smart in always being incredibly confident that I could succeed. You know, failure wasn't an option for me. It really, really wasn't. And I was always incredibly focused. I always had a focus of what or where I wanted to be in business. And I think the smartest thing I ever did was grow my business organically. And I think I was lucky to have had a business 40 years ago, because today everything has got to be fast. So when you have a foundation and a philosophy, those were the things that actually stood the test of time 40 years later. I guess in the 40 years I've been in business, there have been, so many hiccups along the way. I mean, from furniture not fitting in installations to making bad choices in employing, what I call sort of very important people in a business, thinking that you needed someone else. But I think along the way, I would say in 40 years, I've been incredibly lucky because I've always been on top of my business. I've always had this ability to look at a 360-degree view of everything that happens in my business. And so not many things have got through the net, I guess. I think any business today will have challenges, and I guess the challenge for me is time. There's too much always offered to me, and it's that challenge of trying to say no and mean it, and to find the time to give the projects that I want to do the time it needs. Other than that, the challenges are daily challenges of making sure that your staff are happy and that everything is delivered on time, and that the Kelly Hoppen brand is always at excellent level. But other than that, I don't sort of look at it as a challenge. As a Leo, the type of personality that I am, I love a challenge. So when someone comes to me, whether it's, the Beckhams giving me 6 weeks to do their home in LA, to somebody asking me to turn around a boat in a month, to putting a brand manual together for a very big hotel in London, the challenge almost fuels me, and I get this excitement in my belly. And what's brilliant is that I can get my whole team in that bubble with me, and that's where I'm so lucky that nothing frightens me, but the challenge excites me and gets my adrenaline pumping. I could tell you a time that I've taken risks and it's paid off so many times. I reckon I take risks every week of my business. The risks that you take are calculated risks, so you weigh up the pros and cons of what the outcome could be. I think there have been times in business where I've possibly spent more on finishing a job to be able to get the end result. But I'm not a risk taker in the sense of a banker putting all his money on, or a gambler. I'm not that kind of risk taker, but I think sometimes you have to look at, where you are and where you want to be, and you have to kind of do that kind of journey, and that's the kind of risk that I would take. There are lots of skills and surprises of Kelly Hoppen. I play the piano, but I can't read music, so it's all by ear. So I'll listen to music and then I'll be able to play it. That's probably a backing singer. That was my past life. I'm very musical. I love music. Yeah, well, I was a backing singer. When my father died, I ran away to South Africa. I had £500 in my Abbey National running away account. And I hooked up with a black African band, and apartheid was very prevalent in those days. And I toured around South Africa as a backing singer, living off chip butties and being thrown in and out of jail because I was hiding everyone in my hotel room. And it was probably one of the most amazing experiences. One of the guys was Jonathan Butler, who I brought over to England and got him a deal. And it was my kind of way of dealing with my dad's death. But I've always been obsessed with music, and I'm the first one to get up at a party and sing. I don't think I've ever been as happy as I am now. I feel that if I had known everything I know today years ago, it would have been such a brilliant thing. I just think I've found my space in love and life and fitness and health. Children are happy. There's just life is just easier, and I think it's all to do with what goes on in your head. And I think if we only knew that when we were younger, it would be a lot easier. Oh, the women in my life. My mum, who's amazing. She inspires me every single day. She's extraordinary. My daughter Natasha inspires me on a daily basis. Sienna and Savannah, my stepchildren, the same. And I have wonderful girlfriends, you know, like Melissa Oderbash, Amanda Wakely, Amanda Berry. I found the older I've got, I have met extraordinary women that honestly, I can genuinely say take my breath away. And I think women today are so extraordinary. They have such an amazing persona and depth to them. And the more you can be real together, the more you get that, what I call Sex and the City moment, where it's just so effortless and fantastic. I think what makes a smart woman is just a woman that knows herself. I think if you can be a person that absolutely feels confident in themselves and believes in themselves, and that doesn't mean to say they don't have days where they're not confident, but they know who they are. They found what works for them in terms of their clothing. They found what works for them in terms of the time they need on their own and the type of man they want or woman they want or what it is. That to me is a smart woman who can then go out and achieve whatever it is in business that they feel is going to nourish them, because I believe that all women need to be nourished constantly in terms of not words by people, but just feel that they are fulfilling themselves. And from there, then, you know, anything is possible.